Do you think about push and pull when it comes to motivation?
Yeah.
That's 100% how I think about it. Like, I think about right now visually seeing myself with the big ass boulder going up a mountain, and I'm looking at it along the lines of my motivation is my push, right? Or like, because I feel like motivation is like that fleeting situation. It's sometimes I'm motivated, sometimes I'm not, right? Mm-hmm. That's that push. Well, that push can't get me all the way up to the top of that mountain. That's just me pushing. I mean, there's some days which I got a lot of energy and I push hard, but most days it's not the motivation that's actually getting me there. I got this pull. I got another rope that's tied to the top of that mountain that's pulling that boulder up. That is actually driving me for the most days. Mm-hmm. That's my identity. That's where I want to be. That's exactly where I need to be.
Yep.
So that's what's getting me there. Me, the fear or the pain or the embarrassment of not being my true self and not getting to exactly where I deserve to be, that is way greater than any of the stuff I got to do right now that I need to do in order for me to get there.
And that's the whole idea here, is that it's, your motivation gets you so far. Your motivation gets you to 1 million. Can we do 1 million again this year? Yeah. But we need a pull. We need a new identity to get us to 2.5. And that's the same thing that when I talk to contractors over the phone, it's this identity shift, where they go from being nervous, being very, I've never spent this much before, I've never invested this much into myself, to like, okay, well, let's pretend that you hit your goal. Let's pretend that, let's say you're like in our boat. Let's say you want to go from 1 million to 2.5 in your contracting business, right? Somebody who's 2.5 million, are they really going to be, like a $2.5 million company owner? Are they really going to be nervous about this right now? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, great. So what's stopping you from moving forward? Because it sounds like right now you're trying to go 200 miles an hour on the highway, but you're still stuck with a Prius engine. So either A, we need to reshift our goals. So we don't want to go 200 miles an hour. We want to go 75, or we need to upgrade the engine from a Prius to, I don't know, a V8 or something like that. That'll get you that 200 miles an hour. So one of those has to change. You choose which one do you want. And it's scary. And most people will say, okay, let's change the identity, because I need to mentally get over this. I need to mentally become this $2.5 million company, because if I'm stuck at the $1 million identity, then you're going to be stuck. It's the same way of like with your family. If you want to have a family that's really close knit, it's kind of tough to like have a really tight, a close, tight knit family without changing any environment. You just can't walk up like, hey, son, daughter, let's hang out. You either, let's go on a vacation, changes the environment. Let's get our kitchen remodeled so it's more open space, changes the environment. So you either have to have a massive amount of motivation within, or you have to change your environment, which then, does that pull factor, which is what Chris is talking about. So that is when you get this new identity, everything else falls into place. Who you interact with, how you hire, your systems, everything's more documented. And if you're really an entrepreneur, you figure stuff out along the way. You don't, like, I know everybody's got a different disc assessment, and somebody who's like a type C is gonna be more analytical and a little bit more cautious. But if you're really somebody who wants to build this business and problem solve and stuff like that, then you figure stuff out, because that's what an entrepreneur does. They problem solve, they figure it out.